Hello, everyone. Today, I will show you how to graph parabolas really quickly. It's an easy way. You don't have to do table of values. There's a pattern you have to follow, and then all of it, or all these three graphs, you'll find them very easy to graph after I show you. But also what I want to tell you is that I'm running final review tutorials for Math 9, Math 10, and Math 11. They all happen on Sundays. If you need any more information, just go into my website. You'll find the flyer there, especially if you're from Canada, because I am a Canadian teacher. So basically, I'm teaching the Canadian curriculum. So you have to be from Canada to be able to register in this, unless you just want to go in it for the fun of it. And it might not be the same curriculum, but you still could learn a lot of stuff from it. So anyways, so let me show you how to graph these parabolas. All right. So if we look at this graph right here that I already gave you, this is basically the parent parabola, which is the y equals x squared. Because every time you want to graph any kind of graph, we should know the parent graph and how it looks like. Then we'll be able to graph the rest of it. So in this parabola, if you look, there's a point here. I pointed in red. It's called the vertex. And so if we do in table of values, when you put 0 for x, you get 0 for y. If you put in 1 for x, 1 squared is 1, so you're going to get 1 for y. And if you sub in 2 for x, 2 squared is 4, so you're going to get. So that's what all the points came about. So every parabola has a vertex. Vertex, what does that mean? It means when the parabola changes direction. So at this point, the parabola, see if it's coming down like this, at this point, start going up. And also the points start repeating. And that's why every parabola, the middle of the parabola right here, we call it the axis of symmetry. So it's this line right here, which is the y-axis here. We call it the axis of symmetry. Okay. So let me just do a few things here. So we know this is the x and this is the y coordinate. Now, here, for this parabola, the axis of symmetry is the y-axis, which is x equals 0. So x equals 0 is the axis of symmetry for this parabola. And why we should know the axis of symmetry, because if you graph in a parabola and you get these points right here, then you could just reflect all of these points in the axis of symmetry. Let's say, for example, this one here, if the y-axis is the axis of symmetry, this is 3 away from the axis of symmetry, then plotting this point will help you plot the other point as well, but because then you could just go, since you came 3 points or 3 scales to the y-axis, then you go 3 scales to the other side and you get your other point. All right. Now, the way we're going to graph these is using a pattern here, okay? So if we look at the first, from the vertex, the first point, it seems like we went out 1 and up 1. So the pattern, as I said, it's out 1 and then up 1. That's the first point that we got here, out 1, up 1. The second point from here, right? You go from here, out 1, up 3. So out 1, up 3. And from here, then you go out 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out 1 again, up 5. So the pattern, like this, is just the odd numbers, 1 going up 1, and then you go up 3, and then you go up 5. So out 1, up 1, out 1, up 3, out 1, up 5. So this is the pattern that we follow. Okay. Now, if we're gonna graph this parabola right here, the first thing we need to do is to find the vertex. And the vertex of this parabola is -1 and -2. So the vertex is basically trying to find the point where the parabola changes direction, as we said earlier. And the vertex always comes from here. So whatever's inside the brackets, this number right here is the x coordinate of the vertex, except you change the sign of this. So that's why we got -1. And this here is always the y coordinate of the vertex, and you keep the sign the same. So let's go. The vertex is at -1 and -2, so it's right here, okay? And after that, we follow this pattern right here. So we go out 1, up 1, so the point is right here, out 1, up 3, and then from here, out 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But however, my axis of symmetry right now is at the vertex right here. So my axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. Now I reflect all these points in the axis symmetry. So this one is 1 away from the axis symmetry. So I go 1 away on the other side and I have my other point. This is 1, 2 away from the axis of symmetry. So 1, 2, and I get my other point. And this is 1, 2, 3. Then I go 1, 2, 3, and I have my other point. And we'll graph these parabolas later. We'll connect the points later. So I'm just gonna have these and then we connect them later. So the axis of symmetry again is a dotted line. We just draw a dotted line so we could see what it is. It's not really the parabola or any part of it, but we just draw it so we know we're reflecting our points in that axis of symmetry. Okay, now let's go to the third one here. The third one, what's the vertex? The vertex is 0 and +3. Now you could tell me like it doesn't look like this. So how did we get 0 and 3? So how we get the -1 for the vertex as the x coordinate here? Whatever's inside the bracket, that's where we get our x coordinate for the vertex. Okay, and that's why here it's -1. But here there's no bracket, so there's nothing added or subtracted from the x, and that's why 0 is the x value of the vertex. And then 3 is the same as the -2 here. 3 is the y value of the vertex. So it's just going to go 0 and 3. Okay. That's my vertex. So my axis of symmetry here is also the y-axis, because always the axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. Now here, do we go out 1, up 1? No, we don't, because see, in both cases here, the first one here, the a value in front of the x squared or that is 1. Here also it's 1. So that's why we did this. However, if the a value here changes, we call this the a value, then what you do, you go out 1, but the up 1, the 1 here that's positive, we multiply it by the -2. So if you multiply it by -2, it becomes -2, which means down. So negative indicating it's down. So to be able to graph this, we have to look at we still out 1, but now this is -2. The a value is -2. Let's say the negative here indicates that the parabola is opening down. So if it's opening down, instead of going up like we did here, now we're going to start going down. Okay, so the negative indicates that we're going to go down instead of up. And the 2 means you have to multiply all of these values by 2. So now going out 1, instead of down 1, because the negative is down, you multiply the 1 by 2 here, and it's going to be down 2. And out 1 again, down, you multiply the 3 by 2 again, and you're going to get 6. And then out 1, and you multiply the 5 by 2, and you get down 10. So let's do it. Out 1, down 2. Out 1, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And guess what? If I'm going to go out 1 and down 10, I'm not going to be able to fit this in our graph. So we're just going to get rid of this. And always teachers ask you to show at least 3 points on the graph. And that will give us enough points on the graph. So they say show 3 points on the graph, and that's what we're doing. So now we knew that y-axis here is the axis of symmetry, because always it's the line that the vertex go through. So now if I look at this is the vertex and this is my first point. So my first point, I just reflect it into the axis of symmetry. So it's 1 away, I go 1 away and I get my other point. And then this is 1, 2 away. So I go 1, 2 away, and I get my other point right here. And I'm just gonna graph this so now we know where everything is. So this is that parabola, and then I'll just graph the other one that we already plotted with the. Yeah, so the points are a little bit off, like the graph is a little bit off, but my electronic pencil is very tough to make a perfect parabola with it, you know. Now let's go to the third graph right here. Yeah, third graph is a bit tricky. And the tricky is people don't like the halves, you know. But let's go, this is opening up, so it's still gonna be going up instead of down because the A value is positive. But now it's out 1 here and up. You multiply the A value into this here. So half times 1 is just gonna give you half. Remember, when we multiply anything by 1, we get the same thing. So it's gonna be out 1, up a half. And then my little boy is coming running here, stealing paper from me. He's making paper planes. And he's making me go through it. Okay, I'm teaching now. Okay, I'll see you later. And then you go out 1 again. We're supposed to go out 1, up 3. Now you have to multiply the 3 by a half. And if you do that in your calculator, then you're gonna go 1.5 up if you want to go in decimals. And then you go out 1 again. And then you go up. If you multiply 5 by half, it's 5/2 or 2.5. And you could confirm that with your calculator. And the vertex, of course, I should have mentioned that first. The vertex here is going to be this 2 right here. And you always change the sign. So if it's negative, you make it positive. And the y value of the vertex is -1. So we have 2 and -1. And then it's out 1, up a half. So half is just this way. And then out 1, up 3.5. So we'll do the 0.5 first. That's 0.5. And then 1, 2, 3. So we're right here. And then out 1 and up 1.5. So we'll do the 0.5 first here and then 1. So it goes right here. And then out 1 and up 2.5. So just go 1, 2, and then 0.5. It's right here. And my axis of symmetry is the dotted line through the vertex. So I'm just going to show you that here. Sorry, there are a lot of graphs on top of one another, but you see what I mean. So this here reflected into the axis of symmetry, and you get a point here. This one is 2 away from the axis of symmetry. So you go 2 away, and you're going to get your other point right here. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3 from the axis of symmetry. So you go 1, 2, 3, and your point is going to be right here. And this is how your parabola looks like on this side right here. Yeah. So as you noticed, the regular shape of the parabola, the width is like the yellow line and the blue line. But when this number increases, the parabola tends to get narrow. So it shrinks horizontally or expands vertically. And if this is a half or a quarter or something, the quadra gets a little bit wider. So it stretches horizontally or compresses vertically. Okay, so that's an easy way of graphing parabolas if you like doing this and you don't like the table of values. Personally, I like the table of values because you could use that with all kind of graphs. But some people, they just like something systematic, and that's another way of doing it. So here are the 3 courses that I'm offering. You could just take a picture, screenshot, and if you're interested, here are the times, mentioning Eastern times and Pacific times. So the Math 9, the Math 10, the Math 11. If you're interested, just contact me. My contact is right here. This YouTube channel is for you. My goal is to help as many students as possible, not only in Canada, all over the world. If you like my videos, don't forget, very easy, hit that like button, comment if you like, but most importantly, support by subscribing to my channel. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time, bye-bye.